Good morning, sir. This is Shravani. Today I am explaining what is IOC life cycle, what is the model view controller diagram architecture. First of all, IOC means, wait for a minute, start the notes, take notepad. This is Shravani. I, I IOC container. IOC container means the process of implicit objects by Spring container and initializing initi- initialization into being class with dependency injection injection and processing object into being class and 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 destroy the object is called IOC container. IOC container wait a minute. IOC full form means inversion of controller. Inversion of controller. IOC container. The mainly the object creation. IOC means the object creation and process the dependencies and destroy the object. In fully, it is created objects. You can maintain the project. It is you can done the IOC container only and these are follows some tools. MVC model we can follow. MVC. MVC means model, view, and controller. MVC means model, view, controller. Mainly MVC for MVC we can how to execute the project, what is what what is the next step of the execution? It is controlled the MVC. We can show the diagrammatic form. First of all, end user give the input. It is routing, that means it will be loading to, you can take the controller. It is valid, it we checks the controller, it is validation or not. Then controller give the model layer. Model will check it is available or not. Model controller does not directly interacted with the database. You can use a model layer. Model is interacted with the database. It is processed the data and give back to the model layer. Model layer is give to the response in controller. Controller will check and it will be converted the object forms. It is give to the viewer. Viewer means it will view is forms of HTML, like that. HTML CSS forms we can take. And model means Oracle or MySQL, Oracle. Wait a minute. MySQL. MySQL. These are the databases we can give the this is. And we give you can check the convert the HTML forms, that means manual reading forms, then give back to the view into the user. This is the flow of execution. Then first of all, I explain the flow of execution, the flow of STS tools, what the project you can create. That project, I create the one project example program. It is one of the my project. And we create, then I can also created some packages, that means controller package, entity package, service, and these packages. Repository packages also there, but I'm not interacted with the database, so I cannot create it with the repository interface. I will create some packages, controller or entity and service packages or sub packages of main package, that means application dot java package. This is the main Spring Boot application is the main. It is converted to all objects. And wait a minute. Wait a minute. 1 second. 1 second, we can wait. That means Spring Spring Boot application we can convert. And these are the Spring Boot application is three combinations of we can main, that means enable configurations and component scan and Spring Boot configurations. These are the annotations are including in Spring Boot application. It is main class. And I can also create another package, that is entity. And my main project that means execution flow is multiplications of two numbers. Firstly, I am creating two numbers, that means into num1 and num2, and call the constructor by default constructor methods and getters methods and setters methods. And I can also take toString method also. After that, I can go to the controller. I'm calling the app configure, creating another class, app configurations. App configurations means it will be the predefined class. It will convert the JSON objects into JSON objects forms of the data. We can call JSON or create the JSON method. We return the method. After that, I can created the another class, calculator controller. This is the take the request. It will controller will convert the request from viewer to controller and model. In the controller, firstly we'll create the controller class. We can call the rest controller. Rest controller means it will be you can show it will be controller, response body, all are including the it is rest controller is main of method. It will I am also created SLF4Z logger statements also. It means SLF4Z logger statements you can create the more effective processing in applications. We remove the system.out.println statements. Simply we can create once you can object in logger, then you can call many of times. That means logger statements will create logger in received request and display the data. We can create one objects, you can explain that. And auto wired is one of the annotations. This annotation is connected with two objects and means two classes with connected auto wiring. We can use auto wired. That means we can connect calculator service class. Then we can create one variables. That means calculator service class you can create one variables. And post mapping means we can call the methods in some type of methods is there: post, get, uh, delete, put and patch. Post means we can create object, we can create the methods and we can use post method. Then get means you can get the data, we can use get mapping. And put mapping means you can update any data, we can use put. And delete means delete is dependent on id. id or two types of deletion is there. Based on id you can delete the file and delete all files also there. Delete option, delete mapping is there, we can use. I'm creating, that's why I can use post mapping. Multiplication, public in we can create one method. Get multiplication is the one of the method. I pass the request, that means multiplication request is one of the object. We can create one variables. We can pass the request, we can pass the parameters request body. And first of all we can print, I will print receivers requests or multiple requests. We can call I means printed. And in it, into multiplication I will create one variable. That means calculator services give the one number, it is saved to the multiplication variables. Then I will print multiplication. Multiplication is there and return the statement in is multiplications. Then executions of service layer, it is the business logic layer. Every time business logic is there we can write in service layers only. Service layer is you can create, first of all you can we can maintain at the rate service. It is also provides business logics. That means multiplications, subtractions, lots of business logic is there. I'm creating service class, that's name is calculator service. And I will call the JSON objects. So you can create JSON where variables in JSON, and I'm call the by default constructors also calculator service. We can convert instance variables to local variables in JSON object. After that, I will call one call to the SLF40, that means printLF forms, and I can create one method, that means multiplication of two numbers. There are, we can write the business logics. We can write business logics. One variable is creating multiplication. First method, first number into second number, and print the multiplication, print the output, and convert to the JSON objects into JSON form. It is there. We can convert the JSON object forms and return to the multiplication. That means variables. This is the flow of execution. Then you can run this program, and application resources is there. This means SRC main resources. In their application properties is there. By default port number is 8080. You can create any new project. You can give the your 4 digits number. By default it will take 8080 port number. After that you can give the any number. I will give 8032. All are completed. We can save all. Then you can run the program. First of all, we can clean. You can select your project and right click, run as to Maven build. We can type clean package. Run. It is running. Wait a moment. Wait a minute. Yeah, it is running. You can show build successfully. That means clean the package. After that you can go example my project, right click, run as. You can select run as to, you can select Maven build. You can give clean spring boot run. You can run the program. It is running. Wait a second. It is running. Yeah, it is running. Everything is okay. It will give the port number, that means 8032, and it is, you can show the output. We can use one tool, that is Postman. Wait a minute. Postman. I open the Postman. One second, it is loading. I will call get multiplications. New collection is there. we can create one method. First of all, we can go to the body section. Body to you can select a raw to select JSON object. You can give the data in JSON format. That means num1 string and number format. That means num1 you can give in, num2 you can give in, and post is there in lots of methods. That means you can get the data in get method, you can call post the data, you can call post method, and update updated you can any data you can use update. You can delete any id, you can use delete option also is there. And port number 8032 is my port number, and multiplication is path variables. If we can set what you can give the path mapping, it is also give that variable name. That means my I'm giving multiplication, so I can use multiplication. You can show 1 minute. That means I'm post mapping, I am giving the multiplication object, so I can also give the post multiplication. We can give the values, you can send, it will give the multiplication of two numbers. That means 20 into 10 is equal to 200. You can also show the input also. That means consoler, you can double click, then you can take that means request mapping is there, and it will be converted into JSON object format. We can give the output also. Calculated method is there. It will be flow of execution is executed, and you can change the values also, whatever values is there. That means 25, uh, 15. Then you can send whatever you give the values, we can give the output values. This is the my simple example program. Every time it will be change the values. uh, this is my small type of a program in simple program. After that, mainly you can show the execution of flow, and that means application program is main program. These are controller entity. These programs are all are the sub programs, sub packages into the main program. You can call application dot class, all are will be scanned. That's why, because of a spring boot, you can also there in component scan. All objects is component, all objects are scanned and give the outputs. For example, your service class is outside of the another package. That means not component, main component package, it will show the error. So you can must and should every package is implement main sub packages to the main component. This is my program. Now you can take the that means what is controller, what is what is the service. Then you can first of all you can take notes. Now I can explain the notes. Firstly, controller means all. Controller means controller handle the controller handle controller handle the all HTTP requests. All HTTP requests. That means, wait a moment. Wait 10 seconds. HTTP requests. controller handle the all HTTP requests. That means class and service layer means it is a logic layer. It is a logic layer or business layer. Business layer. That means all all execution flow of logics all are written to the service layers only. And repository means next layer is repository. Repository means it will be connected to the it is connected to the database. I've already tell you any package directly, any classes, packages are not directly interacted with the database. Only we can interact with the repository interfaces only. We can interact with the database. So every package is connected, but does not directly connected to the database in any package. So controller layer give to the response to repository layer. Repository layer is give the response to service layer. Then service layer will be process the business logics. Again it will be the give the controller will display the data. And another layer is model or entity layer. Model or entity. Wait a moment. Model or entity means contains the data. That means what you can give the end user data, all are the saved to the entity class only. It will be generated some methods, that means the setters methods and getters methods. It will be predefined methods. You can call the methods, and for example, this entity layer is mapped to the database tables also. After that, configurations, we can configure the data. Config this configuration is configuration classes. Classes the that defines beans. We can use it is defined into the class bean class. We can use configuration. Configuration files. And another layer is exception layer. Exception layer means contain the handling the contains custom exception handling exception. Wait a minute. Contain custom exception handling classes, that means classes. We can handle the exception, we can rectify the errors also. Some of them